Hey, what's up, fellas? I'm Uster's Female Fan Steve Alicious here with the BlackBerry Classic. And a few months ago, almost 6 now, when I was talking about the new BlackBerry coming out in 2021 that they'll announce soon, we hope, we promise, listen, they didn't announce a partnership, put all this work in, hire all these people to then go, LOL, just kidding, and then leave with all the money that they haven't made. If there's a delay, it's because there's a chip shortage in the entire universe and they might be having trouble. But I do believe we will be getting a new BlackBerry device. But when I talked about possible designs for that device, I had 4 choices. And almost as, not as a joke, but as a nostalgia callback, I threw in the BlackBerry Classic. But to my surprise, a lot of you chose the Classic as something that you'd like to see, again, updated for 2021. Now, some of that's nostalgia. Like I said, so some of that need for it or want for it should be discounted because of that. But I popped my SIM back in it, and there is a lot of use for it. There is an enjoyment there that you get with the intimate nature of the information, using the keyboard, the discrete device, being able to palm it, handheld size, small, easy to fit on your belt or in a pocket. There's a lot of appeal to having something like this in 2021. So I went back and I said, okay, let's put the nostalgia aside as best we can. Realistically, what of the things that they gave us, that little 3-point checklist that Onward Mobility gave us, what could you possibly fit in a form factor like this in 2021? Well, the first one, physical keyboard. Obviously, that's easy. They have one right here. I'm helping out Pusheen today, by the way. They have a physical keyboard here. Check, done. 5G connectivity, also possible. 765G, 780G, 768, I believe, as well. 700 series can fit in this, no problem. And what's great about it, because of the smaller form factor, but because of the reduced power consumption of those 700 series chips, you could probably put a battery in something like this that could run that. And you pair that with a smaller, which it would have to be, 1080p display, and you've got something that could get decent battery life, which you'd expect a minimum out of a BlackBerry, of course. Then this is where we start to run into some issues. They want a flagship camera system in the new BlackBerry. And that is not going to cut it as a flagship camera experience in 2021. Not when you're going up against something like this. I mean, look at this. It's basically a fourth of the size of the entire device, just the camera on the S21 Ultra. Now, for a flagship camera experience, do you need periscope zoom? Do you need all these lenses? No. I think at minimum, though, you're going to need 2 lenses. And you look at even the Pixel design, if you got the Pixel 4 camera hump here, it starts to become a little unrealistic. And unlike 10 years ago, where you could get away with an argument saying, well, business users don't need social media, business users don't need Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and all the rest of it. They're just on there for their email and their whatever and their enterprise. Okay, look, that doesn't work anymore. Think about it this way. How much business is done on Twitter? Business people need Twitter. Instant access to information, news, the perception, trends, the perception of how their product is doing out there. Customer relations, how they speak with people back and forth. How much customer support is done on Twitter these days with different companies? So the idea that Twitter is nice, and I love the Twitter implementation in the HUD, but you're not going to enjoy Twitter or get the max use out of something like that on a device this size. And same for Instagram. Half of Instagram is marketing these days. So wouldn't you want, as a business person, a device that at least gives you the same or similar experience to what your consumers are getting on Instagram? And that means something with a display like this. And whether that's a Priv 2 slider, whether it's a bigger device somehow, or a Key 3 type design, which I think would be a nightmare myself. I didn't enjoy it. It's not out of the realm of possibility to think that they're going to need something like that to give you a decent social media experience on your BlackBerry in 2021. And it can't be written off as, well, we don't need that. We're BlackBerry users. Well, now you do. Now you do. Because even if you're talking not the social aspect of it, just the pure business aspect of it, you're going to need these apps. And don't get into, and the problem with this, look, 1:1 aspect ratio is great. Love it on the Passport, love it on this. Don't get into the cycle where companies are going to need to release software and updates specifically to get stuff to run on your platform, because it's not going to happen, okay? The Galaxy Fold 2, an incredibly popular device, you'd think, they're not doing it. Tablets, they won't even do it for. Popular tablets, they won't optimize apps for it, so they're certainly not going to do it for a BlackBerry comeback in 2021. At least I don't think so, unless they get mass adoption. And even Facebook, a lot of business is done on there. And I know that, listen, I'm one of these people. People who watch this channel are in the same boat with this, saying, what's the craze about the cameras? I don't understand cameras. Isn't that odd that BlackBerry would focus on cameras? I saw so many news articles saying, well, that's a change for BlackBerry. Why would they focus on camera? Well, because even though I don't think so, and you don't think so, that's the major selling point for people. I don't get it. But think about the OnePlus 9 presentation. Going back and remembering that, they spent a half an hour on the camera system before they even went over the design of the device. How insane is that? So that should tell you what people think of when they think of a flagship device. If you're going to reach out more beyond just business users, which you're going to have to do if you want more of these, if we want a successful run this time, there's going to have to be some semblance of mass adoption. For that, you're going to need the flagship camera. I think that's why they threw that little nugget out there to prepare people, saying, hey, listen, this is going to have to be a little different this time if we want BlackBerry to survive into the future. So as much as I would like to see something like this, I'd be first online for it. I know a lot of people would be here too. But we got to let go of it. We got to let go of some of that nostalgia. Which is part of it. Listen, be honest with yourselves, it's part of it. And got to let go and bring reality in a little bit, that if we want a successful BlackBerry device in 2021, the classic form factor probably just isn't it. And I was shocked. I was working through it in my mind. I was using it. I'm like, man, I'm loving this. Could this work in 2021? Since so many people wanted it in the comment section of that last video, but I just couldn't find a way to think it through logically. Would that make sense from a business standpoint? Would you be able to sell enough units when you're limited by this form factor? 1:1, relatively small display, small device in that you wouldn't be able to fit a lot of camera hardware in here and keep it small. The other considerations I think you can handle. If this was 10 years ago, you could put updated specs in this and go to town. I think you'd be fine. But now I don't see it happening. Listen, you disagree? You think you know a way where something like this could work? Let me know down below. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.